My name is Emma Callahan, and I'm 32 years old. 3 weeks ago, I stood outside my parents' house in Charleston with a gift wrapped in gold paper, and my mother looked at me like I was a stranger who'd crashed their party. "We didn't invite you," she said. "Your sister planned this." I'd flown 3,000 miles. I'd spent 8 years keeping a secret so big, it had nearly killed me. And in that moment, watching my father push my gift off the table like it was trash, I realized they didn't know me at all. Inside that box was proof of every sacrifice I'd made. 96 months of receipts, $200,000, and the truth about which daughter had actually been holding their family together. I picked it up off the floor and left. 14 hours later, they were at my door in Seattle. Let me take you back 8 years, to the night I made a choice that would cost me everything, and the night my sister decided to take credit for all of it. It was August 2017. I was 24, fresh out of nursing school, working night shifts in the ICU at Swedish Medical Center in Seattle. The job was brutal, 12-hour shifts from 7 at night until 7 in the morning, watching monitors, managing IVs, keeping people alive while the rest of the world slept. I loved it. I was good at it. And I was 3,000 miles away from Charleston, South Carolina, which felt like exactly the right distance. My phone buzzed at 2:33 a.m. on a Tuesday. I was sitting in the break room, eating cold pizza from the vending machine, when I saw the name on the screen. Aunt Carol. My mom's younger sister never called this late, never called at all unless something was wrong. I answered. "Emma, honey." Her voice was tight, scared. "I need to tell you something, and I need you to stay calm." My stomach dropped. "What happened? Is it Dad? Is he—" "Your dad got a foreclosure notice, 90 days. Your mom's been crying for a week. They're about to lose the house." The pizza turned to cardboard in my mouth. "What? How?" "Dad's been working at the plant for 30 years. He had to retire early, Emma. Last year, remember? The back injury?" I did remember, vaguely. A phone call from my mom, brief and strained, telling me Dad had hurt himself lifting something at work. That he'd be fine. That I didn't need to worry. That was 16 months ago. I hadn't known he'd stopped working. "He's 58, Aunt Carol continued. Too young for full Social Security. Your mom works part-time at the library, brings in maybe $1,900 a month. The mortgage is $2,100, and with the medical bills from his injury—" She paused. "They're drowning, Emma." I stood up, pacing the tiny break room. Through the window I could see the Seattle skyline, lights glittering against the black sky. "Why didn't they tell me?" There was a long silence. "Tori knows. She told them not to bother you because you're too busy with your career." My phone screen read at 2:33 a.m. Behind me, a patient's ventilator beeped steadily through the wall. My reflection in the break room window looked hollow. I pressed my palm against the glass. My voice came out flat. "How much do they need?" Aunt Carol didn't answer right away. When she did, her voice broke. "More than I can give, but Tori told them you wouldn't help anyway. Tori and I used to be close. When we were kids, she'd let me sleep in her room during thunderstorms. She taught me how to braid my hair, how to ride a bike without training wheels, how to sneak cookies from the jar on the top shelf. But something changed after I left for nursing school. I got accepted to the University of Washington, a full ride. It was the first time anyone in our family had gone out of state for college. My parents were proud, but Tori's congratulations felt forced. By the time I graduated and landed the ICU job, the texts from her had shifted. In 2016, I sent her a photo of my new apartment in Seattle. A tiny studio, 380 square feet, barely room for a bed and a desk. I was excited, it was mine. Her response came 3 hours later. "Must be nice living in your fancy Seattle apartment while the rest of us deal with real life here." That studio cost $1,100 a month. The furniture was IKEA. The view was a parking lot. Nothing about it was fancy. I remember staring at that text, trying to figure out what I'd done wrong. I texted back, "It's not fancy, Tori. I'm happy to FaceTime and show you around." She never responded. The last time I went home was Christmas 2016. Tori introduced me to the neighbors like I was a stranger. This is my little sister. She's too important now to visit much. She smiled when she said it, but her eyes were cold. Offered him a desk position at half the pay, but the pain was too severe. He had to take early retirement. He was 58. His pension wouldn't kick in fully until 62. Social Security wouldn't start until 67. He lost 60% of his income overnight. Mom worked part-time at the Charleston County Library, $1,900 a month, before taxes. The mortgage was $2,100. Dad's medical bills from the surgery and physical therapy? Another $8,000 in debt, even after insurance. They'd been hemorrhaging money for over a year, draining their savings, maxing out credit cards. And now the bank had sent a final notice, 90 days to pay or vacate. The house I grew up in, the little yellow house on Maple Street with the front porch, where Dad taught me to tie my shoes, was about to be taken away. Your dad's too proud to ask. Your mom thinks you're living large out there. And Tori? She brings them a $30 grocery bag once a month and posts about it on Facebook like she's Mother Teresa. The foreclosure notice was dated August 15, 2017. 90 days from that date was November 14th. My childhood home, painted pale yellow, with the creaky porch swing and the oak tree in the backyard, had less than 3 months. I asked the question that was clawing at my chest. What did Tori say when she found out? Aunt Carol's voice went quiet. She said, "Don't tell Emma. She already forgot about us." I sat in the ICU break room until 4 in the morning, doing math on the back of a patient chart. My salary after taxes, $3,650 a month. Rent, $1,100. If I sent them $2,100 a month, I'd have $1,450 left for everything else. Food, gas, car insurance, student loans, electric, internet. It was possible. Barely. I'd have to pick up overtime. A lot of overtime. I'd have to say no to grad school. The acceptance letter from UW's Master of Nursing program was still sitting on my desk, unopened. I'd have to cut every corner, skip every luxury, live like I was still a broke college student. But I could do it. I could save the house. I pulled out my phone and opened a new note, typed out a plan, monthly budget, projections, how many extra shifts I'd need to cover the gap. At the bottom, I wrote in all caps, "Don't tell them it's me, because if they knew, they'd say no." Dad's pride wouldn't allow it. Mom would worry herself sick. They'd refuse the help and lose the house anyway. Better to let them think it was coming from somewhere else. Veterans assistance, a grant, a church fund, anything but their daughter. I called Aunt Carol back at 4:17 a.m. My voice was steady. "I'll cover it, every month. But they can't know it's from me and Tori can never find out." I still have that piece of paper. The back of a patient chart, coffee-stained, with my handwriting scrawled across it. Income, expenses, the number 2100 circled 3 times. At the bottom, in small letters, "They can never know." Aunt Carol was quiet for a long time. When she finally spoke, she was crying. "You're a good daughter, Emma. Better than they deserve." I didn't feel good. I felt terrified, but I transferred the first payment on September 1st, 2017. And I didn't stop for 8 years. People think sacrifice is dramatic, a big moment, a grand gesture. It's not. Sacrifice is waking up at 5 p.m. because you worked all night, and your body doesn't know what time zone it's in anymore. It's putting on scrubs that still smell like disinfectant because you didn't have time to wash them. It's eating vending machine food for dinner because cooking takes energy you don't have. From September 2017 to August 2025, I worked an average of 60 to 70 hours a week. 5 12-hour night shifts. Sometimes 6. Sometimes 7 when they were short-staffed and desperate. Every month, on the 1st, I'd log into my bank account and transfer $2,100 to Aunt Carol. She'd deposit it into my parents' account with a note, Veterans Housing Assistance Fund. My dad had served 4 years in the Navy when he was younger. It was plausible. He never questioned it. Neither did my mom. I kept a spreadsheet, hidden on my laptop, password protected. The file name was Dad's House. Every month I'd add a new line. Date, amount, total. By August 2025, the total was $201,600. 96 payments, never missed one, never late. I worked holidays. I worked weekends. I worked through migraines, through the flu, through the kind of exhaustion that makes you forget words mid-sentence. I worked while my coworkers went on vacations, got married, had babies. I worked while my parents kept their house. And I told no one. Attached, $2,100. Please tell them it's from the Veterans Assistance Fund again. How's Dad's back? Emma. 96 receipts, bank transfers. Every single one labeled for L. Callahan Housing Assistance. Printed on white paper, folded in half, stacked in chronological order from September 2017 to August 2025. In December 2019, I worked 18 shifts in 1 month to cover Christmas expenses and the mortgage. I fell asleep at the nurse's station and woke up at 6:45 a.m. with keyboard marks on my cheek. My supervisor found me and sent me home. I didn't tell her I couldn't afford to leave early. His name was Jake Morrison. We met in 2017, a month before Aunt Carol's call. He was a third-grade teacher, funny and kind, the kind of guy who'd bring me coffee at the end of my shift and sit with me in the hospital parking lot while I decompressed. We dated for 3 years. He proposed in 2020, on a beach in Oregon, with a ring he'd saved for 6 months to buy. I said yes, but I couldn't plan a wedding. Every dollar I made was already spoken for. Every free weekend was an opportunity to pick up an extra shift. Every time Jake tried to talk about venues or dates or guest lists, I shut down. We'll figure it out later, I'd say. I'm just busy right now. 8 months after the proposal, he sat me down in my tiny apartment. Emma, I love you, but I can't marry someone who won't let me in. You work yourself to death. You never talk about money, and every time I bring up our future, you shut down. What are you hiding? The engagement ring is still in my desk drawer. Bottom left. Next to the acceptance letter from the University of Washington Master of Nursing program. The one I never opened, the one I declined because I couldn't afford to take time off work. I couldn't tell him. I wanted to. God, I wanted to. But if I told him, he'd insist on helping. He'd want to contribute, and I couldn't let him sacrifice for my family, so I said the only thing I could. I'm sorry. I can't explain. He left. I picked up an extra shift that night so I wouldn't have to think about it. Your body keeps score, even when you're trying not to. Between 2017 and 2025, I gained 30 pounds. Stress eating, vending machine snacks during night shifts. No time to cook, no energy to exercise. I used to weigh 138. By 2024, I was 168. I developed chronic back pain from standing for 12 hours straight. Started popping ibuprofen like candy. Lost my period for 4 months in 2022. My doctor ran tests, found nothing physically wrong, and told me it was stress-induced. Your cortisol levels are dangerously high, she said during my annual checkup in 2023. You're running yourself into the ground. What's going on? I looked at her across the exam table. She was genuinely concerned. Just work, I'll be fine. Melatonin on my nightstand. Tums in my purse. The bathroom scale reading 168 pounds. My alarm set for every 2 hours because I couldn't sleep more than that without waking up in a panic. In June 2024, I caught my reflection in the hospital bathroom mirror. I was 31. I looked 40. Dark circles, thinning hair, a permanent crease between my eyebrows. I didn't recognize myself, but my parents still had their house. I whispered to my reflection. Worth it. Total. Column D, notes. The notes were total. Column D, notes. The notes were sparse, mostly empty. Occasionally I'd write something. Picked up extra shift to cover this. Skipped groceries this week. Car broke down. had to dip into emergency fund. The running total, by August 2025, was highlighted in red, $201,600. I almost never open that file, maybe once every 6 months. Looking at the number made something crack inside my chest. $200,000. 8 years. 96 months. And my parents thought I'd abandoned them. 8 years. 96 months. I gave them everything, and they think I abandoned them. Written at 3:47 a.m. May 2025. Child. The file exists on my laptop still, hidden in a folder labeled Taxes 2017. The total, in red, hasn't changed, $201,600. In August 2025, I got a card in the mail, cream-colored, elegant script. It was an invitation to my parents' 40th wedding anniversary party. Sender: Victoria Callahan. Not my parents, my sister. And my name wasn't on the RSVP list. In March 2019, Tori created a group chat called Callahan Family Updates. 23 people: parents, aunts, uncles, cousins, close family friends. Everyone. Everyone except me. Aunt Carol sent me a screenshot a week later. Did you see this? I hadn't. Because I wasn't in it. Tori posted updates 2 or 3 times a week. Photos of her with my parents. Captions about family dinners, errands she ran, little acts of service. Picked up groceries for Mom and Dad today. They're so grateful. Spent the afternoon helping Dad in the yard. So blessed to live close to family. #family first. Aunt Carol told me the groceries were usually a $30 bag from Walmart. The yard work was maybe an hour of raking leaves, followed by a 2-hour photo shoot. When Carol asked Tori why I wasn't included in the group chat, Tori shrugged. Emma never responds anyway, she's too busy. A screenshot of the group chat member list. 23 names. My name isn't there. Tori posts 3 times a week, every week for 6 years. My parents didn't know I was excluded. They thought I was too busy to participate. Tori made sure of that. Tori's Facebook was a masterpiece of performance. From 2017 to 2025, she posted 67 times about caring for our parents. Photos of Sunday dinners, her and my mom baking cookies, her and my dad watching a football game. Every post got hundreds of likes, dozens of comments praising her. You're such a good daughter, Tori. Your parents are so lucky to have you close by. Family is everything. In reality, Aunt Carol tracked Tori's actual visits. 18 times in 8 years. 18. Tori lived 20 minutes away. I lived 3,000 miles away, and still managed to visit more. Though I stopped coming home after 2019 because every trip felt like walking into enemy territory. Each of Tori's visits lasted 2, maybe 3 hours, just long enough to take photos, to be seen. One post from November 2023 had 214 likes. Spent the afternoon with my amazing parents. Being the daughter who stayed close to home is the greatest gift. 67 Facebook posts, average of 150 likes each. 36 comments per post, all glowing. But Aunt Carol's log shows the truth. 18 visits in 8 years, 2 to 3 hours each. Someone commented, "Your sister must be so busy out in Seattle. Good thing they have you, Tori." Tori replied, "Yeah, Emma has her own life. I'm just glad I can be here for them." I saw that comment in 2024. I didn't respond. What could I say? Need anything? No response. I sent a need anything. No response. I sent a follow-up text 2 weeks later. Read receipt. Seen. But no reply. I didn't understand why until June 2024, when Aunt Carol finally told me the truth. Tori had access to my parents' email. She'd set it up on her phone years ago, ostensibly to help them manage things. She deleted my messages before they could read them. On my mom's birthday in 2023, I sent a text at 7 a.m. "Happy birthday, Mom. Love you. Hope your day is wonderful." Tori deleted it. Then she told my mom, in person, that I hadn't even remembered her birthday. Aunt Carol, voice shaking, Emma, I saw Tori delete your birthday text to your mom. She told your mom, Emma didn't even remember your birthday this year. Your mom cried. 11 emails sent between 2019 and 2024. 0 responses. 6 text messages marked read but never answered. Aunt Carol confirmed. Tori intercepted them all. I asked Aunt Carol, why didn't you tell them? She sighed. I tried, but Tori's there every week. I'm just the aunt. They believe her. The invitation arrived in my mailbox on August 10th, 2025. Cream cardstock, gold lettering, elegant script. You're invited to celebrate Lawrence and Diane Callahan's 40th wedding anniversary. Sender address, Victoria Callahan. Not my parents. Inside, the note was brief. Limited space. Immediate family only. I stared at it for 20 minutes. Then I called my mom. She answered on the 4th ring. Her voice was distracted, happy, music in the background. Oh, hi, Emma. Hi, Mom. I got the invitation to your anniversary party. A pause. Tori's handling everything, honey. She said you're probably too busy anyway. My chest tightened. Mom, I want to be there. Another pause. Longer this time. Emma, we understand you have your life in Seattle. Tori said it's a long flight and you can't afford to miss work. Don't feel obligated. The invitation, cream-colored, gold script. Return address. Victoria Callahan, Charleston, SC. Party date, September 14th, 2025. My name nowhere on the RSVP list. I sat with that invitation on my lap for an hour. My sister had rewritten the entire family narrative, and my parents believed every word. I whispered to the empty room, enough. I was going to that party. I booked a flight that night, Seattle to Charleston, $520, last-minute pricing, September 12th through September 15th. 3 days. I requested time off work, the first time I'd taken more than a single day off since 2019. My supervisor was shocked. You're actually taking a vacation? I didn't call it a vacation. I called it necessary. I wasn't going to sit in Seattle while my sister threw a party in my name's absence, while she smiled for photos and accepted praise for being the devoted daughter. Not this time. I told my coworker Sarah, I need to go home. I need them to see me, the real me, not the version my sister's been selling. Boarding pass, SEA to CLT, September 12th, 2025, 6:15 a.m. departure. Seat 23B. Cost $520.40. I packed light. 1 carry-on, a change of clothes, and a wooden box I'd been preparing for 2 weeks. I set it on my bed and stared at it. This ends now, I said to the empty apartment. I bought the box from a local craftsman in Seattle. Handmade wood, smooth edges, brass hinges, 8 inches by 10 inches by 3 inches. Cost me $85. Inside, I placed 96 printed receipts, every bank transfer, every month. September 2017 to August 2025. Each receipt showed the same thing. Date. Amount, $2,100. Recipient, L. Callahan, Housing Assistance. I folded each one in half, stacked them in chronological order. On top, I placed a letter I'd written the night before. It was short, 1 page, handwritten. To the parents who said I abandoned them, here's proof I never left. I just stopped expecting you to see me. I didn't sign it. They'd know my handwriting. At the very bottom of the box, I included a summary sheet. Total, $201,600. Duration, 8 years. Monthly payment, $2,100. Total payments, 96. I wrapped the box in gold paper, the same shade as the paint on their house, the house I'd paid to keep. To the parents who said I abandoned them, here's proof I never left. I just stopped expecting you to see me. A wooden box, 8 by 10 by 3 inches, gold wrapping paper, white ribbon, 96 folded receipts inside, 1 handwritten letter, 1 summary sheet with the total circled in red. $201,600. I placed the box in my carry-on bag. If they didn't see this, they'd never know the truth. And I was done being invisible. The flight was 5 hours and 40 minutes. One layover in Denver. I didn't sleep. I sat in seat 23B, the wooden box on my lap, and rehearsed in my head. What would I say? Would I say anything? Maybe I'd just hand them the box. Let the evidence speak. Or maybe they'd refuse to take it. Maybe Tori would intercept me at the door. Maybe I'd be thrown out before I even got inside. I didn't know, but I knew I had to try. I won't argue, I won't defend. I'll just give them the box and let the truth do the talking. Airplane window, seat 23B. The wooden box resting on my lap for the entire flight. I didn't put it in the overhead bin. I didn't let it out of my sight. The plane landed in Charleston at 5:12 p.m. I turned on my phone. 3 missed calls from Aunt Carol. 1 text. Tori's been asking if you're coming. Be careful. I took an Uber from the airport. 30-minute drive. The party started at 7. I arrived at 6:50. The house looked the same. Pale yellow paint, the front porch with the swing, the oak tree in the backyard. But the yard was full of people, balloons, white and gold. Long tables covered in linen, string lights hung between the trees, jazz music playing from portable speakers. I paid the driver and stood on the sidewalk staring. Through the kitchen window, I saw her. Tori. Taking a selfie with my parents. All 3 of them smiling. Big party tonight, huh? You family? I didn't take my eyes off the house. Something like that. The pale yellow house, the color I'd paid to repaint in 2021. White and gold balloons. A banner stretched across the porch. 40 years of love. 60, maybe 70 cars parked along the street. I walked up the front steps. The box felt heavier with every step. I reached the door. It opened. My mother stood there. Her face froze. My mom looked at me like I was a ghost. Emma? Her voice was confused. Not happy, not excited. Confused. What are you doing here? I held up the box. Gold paper, white ribbon. It's your anniversary. I wanted to be here. She glanced over her shoulder. Behind her, I could see people moving through the house. Laughter, music, the clink of glasses. She looked back at me, and her expression shifted. Uncomfortable. Emma, honey. We didn't invite you. The words hit like a slap. I know, I said quietly. I got the invitation from Tori, but I came anyway. She bit her lip, looked over her shoulder again. Tori organized everything. She said you were too busy. We didn't want to bother you. My mother in a light blue floral dress, a champagne glass in her hand. Behind her, the living room full of people I recognized, aunts, uncles, neighbors, and my sister, visible through the doorway, staring at me with wide eyes. I flew 3,000 miles, Mom. She opened her mouth to respond, but Tori appeared behind her. Emma. Her voice was tight, forced smile. What a surprise. I stepped inside. The room went quiet, not silent. People were still talking, still laughing. But there was a shift, a ripple of attention. Heads turned. Oh, that's the other daughter. I didn't know she was coming. Does she live in Seattle? Tori stayed close to me, her voice low and urgent. You weren't supposed to come. This is my gift to them. Don't ruin it. I didn't look at her. I kept walking toward the back door, where I could see my parents standing with a cluster of relatives near the cake table. Tori whispering, Emma, you're embarrassing yourself. Just leave the gift and go. I stopped, looked her in the eye. I'm not leaving. 85 people in the backyard, long tables covered in white linen, a 3-tiered cake on a pedestal, photos of my parents' wedding 40 years ago displayed on an easel, string lights glowing gold in the trees. I reached the main table. My dad turned, saw me. His face hardened. I set the box on the table, gold paper shining under the string lights. Happy 40th anniversary. My dad looked at the box, looked at me. His jaw tightened. You didn't need to come, Emma. We're doing just fine without... Tori cut in, smooth and quick. Dad, you don't have to accept it. She probably just grabbed something last minute. I didn't move. My dad's hand came down on the box, and he shoved it, hard. It flew off the table and hit the ground with a heavy thud. The music was still playing, but no one was talking anymore. 85 people, silent, staring. We don't want any cheap thing from you, Emma. You made your choice when you left Charleston. We don't need your guilt gifts now. The wooden box on the ground, gold paper slightly crumpled, white ribbon loose, 85 pairs of eyes watching, the jazz music still playing from the speaker, but no one moving, no one speaking. I stood there for 3 seconds. Tori smiled, small, relieved. She thought she'd won. In front of everyone. I looked at my Hendron. In front of everyone. I looked at my parents. My mom's eyes were wide, guilty maybe, or just confused. My dad's face was stone. I hope you open it. You'll understand everything. 30 steps from the table to the back gate. The entire crowd parted, silent. Aunt Carol stood near the corner of the yard, tears streaming down her face. But she didn't move. Couldn't move. I walked out, closed the gate behind me, called an Uber. Inside, Tori exhaled, laughed lightly. Well, that was awkward. Let's get back to the party. The music started again, and the gold box sat untouched on the table. An hour passed. The party went on. People ate, danced, toasted my parents. But the box sat there. Gold paper, white ribbon. A few people glanced at it, whispered, "What do you think is in there? Should someone move it?" No one touched it. Aunt Carol couldn't take it anymore. She walked over to my mother, who was standing near the dessert table, talking to an old friend. "Diane," my mom turned. "You should open Emma's gift." My mom's face tightened. "Carol, she embarrassed us. She showed up uninvited and made a scene. She flew 3,000 miles to give you that. The least you can do is look inside." 9:30 p.m. The party had moved past the cake cutting. About 50 people remained. The gold box still sat in the center of the table, untouched, under the string lights. My dad stepped forward. He looked at Aunt Carol, at the box. Then he reached out and pulled the white ribbon loose. Tori, standing 10 feet away, went pale. My dad lifted the lid. Inside, papers, folded, stacked neatly. He pulled out the first one, unfolded it, a bank receipt. Date, September 1st, 2017. Amount, $2,100. Memo, for L. Callahan, housing assistance. He frowned. What is this? My mom took the second receipt, then the third. Same format, same amount, different dates. October 2017, November 2017, December 2017. Her hands started shaking. "Lawrence, these are bank transfers. Every month." She pulled out more. Faster now. January 2018, February 2018, March 2018. For 8 years. At the bottom of the box, beneath all the receipts, was a letter. My mom unfolded it with trembling hands. "To the parents who said I abandoned them, here's proof I never left. I just stopped expecting you to see me." 96 receipts spread across the table. Black ink on white paper, bank logos. The same number on every single one, $2,100. The dates running from September 2017 to August 2025. My mom looked up. Her face was white. "Carol, you knew?" Aunt Carol nodded, and then she said the words that would change everything. Aunt Carol stepped into the center of the patio. 50 people, all watching. Her voice shook, but it was loud enough. "For 8 years, Emma made me promise not to tell. She sent that money every single month. She paid your mortgage, Lawrence. She saved your house." My dad's face crumpled. "She worked 70-hour weeks. She lost her fiancé. She gave up graduate school. She did it all while you thought she'd forgotten about you." Aunt Carol's voice broke. "And Tori told you she abandoned you." The crowd was silent. Tori deleted Emma's emails. Tori blocked her from the family group chat. Tori lied. "Emma sacrificed everything, and you pushed her gift off the table." 50 people standing in the backyard. No one holding drinks, no one speaking. Aunt Carol in the center. tears running down her face. The 96 receipts still spread across the table behind her. Tori's voice cut through the silence. "That's not true. Aunt Carol, you're confused." But someone else stepped forward. "Mrs. Brennan, my mom's best friend for 30 years. Mrs. Brennan looked at my mom. "Carol's right, Diane." My mom turned confused. "I saw Emma at the hospital in 2019, sitting with Lawrence during his physical therapy." My dad's head snapped up. "She told me not to tell you. She said she didn't want you to feel bad that she'd flown all the way from Seattle. She left that same night. Flew back for her shift." My mom's hand went to her mouth. Mrs. Brennan's voice was steady, but sad. "Tori told everyone Emma didn't care, but I saw her. She was exhausted, in her scrubs, crying in the hallway because she had to fly back and she didn't get to say goodbye to you, Lawrence." My dad remembered. 2019. Physical therapy. Waking up in the recovery room and smelling something familiar, a perfume, one he hadn't smelled in years. He'd asked the nurse if anyone had visited. She said no. My dad's voice was barely a whisper. "Victoria, is this true?" Tori opened her mouth. Nothing came out. Tori tried to recover. I didn't know about the money. Emma never told me." Aunt Carol's voice was sharp. "Because you made sure she couldn't. You deleted her messages. You told them she didn't care." My mom turned to Tori, her face a mixture of horror and heartbreak. "You told me Emma didn't even remember my birthday last year." Tori's face crumpled. I wanted you to see that I was here. I stayed. I was the one who—" My dad's voice cut through, cold and final. "You were the one who lied." 50 people, staring at Tori, some with disgust, some with pity. My mom turned away. My dad clutched the stack of receipts in his hands like they were the only real thing left. Tori backed away. No one stopped her. She grabbed her purse, ran to her car. The engine started. She was gone. My parents sat down heavily in the patio chairs. My mom held the wooden box in her lap and sobbed. "What have we done?" The party ended early. By 10 p.m., everyone was gone. My parents sat at the kitchen table with Aunt Carol, the 96 receipts spread out in front of them like evidence at a trial. My mom counted them. Twice. 96 months. My dad did the math on his phone. $201,600. Neither of them could speak for a long time. Aunt Carol sat across from them, arms folded, watching them process what they'd done. Finally, my mom broke. "She gave up everything, and her voice cracked. "We pushed her gift off the table." My dad stood abruptly. "I need to see her, now." Aunt Carol pulled up her phone, showed him the Google Maps route. Charleston, South Carolina, to Seattle, Washington. 2,730 miles, 40 hours of driving, or an 8-hour flight. "Aunt Carol, it's an 8-hour flight, or 14 hours if you drive straight through." "Dad, then we drive, tonight." Google Maps on Aunt Carol's phone. Route displayed, Charleston, SC to Seattle, WA. 2,730 miles. Estimated time, 40 hours. My dad staring at it, my mom already standing grabbing her purse. Their house in 2017. He'd kept it. Washed their house in 2017. He'd kept it. Washed it. Folded it carefully. He put it in the car. At 11 p.m. they started driving. They drove through the night. My dad took the first shift. My mom navigated. They didn't stop except for gas and bathroom breaks. They didn't sleep. My mom cried for most of the first 6 hours. Quietly. Staring out the window at the dark highway. My dad didn't speak much. His hands gripped the steering wheel so tightly his knuckles went white. At 4 a.m., somewhere in Tennessee, my mom finally broke the silence. "How did we not see?" My dad didn't answer right away. When he did, his voice was raw. "Because we stopped asking. We just believed what we were told." They switched drivers in Oklahoma. My mom took the wheel. My dad tried to sleep but couldn't. He stared at the dashboard. The odometer ticked higher. 500 miles. 1,000 miles. 1,500 miles. Mom at 4:17 a.m. How did we believe her sister over her? Dad. Because it was easier than asking questions. Dashboard reading. 2,103 miles to destination. 4 gas station receipts. 2 rest stops. 26 hours awake. They arrived in Seattle at 1 p.m. on September 15, 2025. They parked outside my apartment building, a 3-story walk-up, old, paint peeling on the trim. Not the fancy Seattle apartment Tori had described. My dad stared up at the 3rd floor. She's been living here for 8 years? Is this Emma Callahan? Yes. This is 1-978-563-563. That's me? I'm in the hallway. I'll be right there. Okay. I'm in the hallway. I'll be right there. Okay. I'm in the hallway. I'll be right there. Okay. I'm in the hallway. I'll be right there. Okay. I'm in the hallway. I'll be right there. Okay. I'm in the hallway. I'll be right there. Okay. I'm in the hallway. I'll be right there. Okay. I'm in the hallway. I'll be right there. Okay. I'm in the hallway. I'll be right there. Okay. I'm in the hallway. I'll be right there. Okay. I'm in the hallway. I'll be right there. Okay. I'm in the hallway. I'll be right there. Okay. I'm in the hallway. I'll be right there. Okay. I'm in the hallway. I'll be right there. Okay. I'm in the hallway. I'll be right there. Okay. I'm in the hallway. I'll be right there. Okay. I'm in the hallway. I'll be right there. Okay. I'm in the hallway. I'll be right there. Okay. I'm in the hallway. I'll be right there. Okay. I'm in the hallway. I'll be right there. Okay. I'm in the hallway. I'll be right there. Okay. I'm in the hallway. I'll be right there. Okay. I'm in the hallway. I'll be right there. Okay. I'm in the hallway. I'll be right there. Okay. I'm in the hallway. I'll be right there. Okay. I'm in the hallway. I'll be right there. Okay. I'm in the hallway. I'll be right there. Okay. I'm in the hallway. I'll be right there. Okay. I'm in the hallway. I'll be right there. Okay. I'm in the hallway. I'll be right there. Okay. I'm in the hallway. I'll be right there. Okay. I'm in. Is this Emma Callahan? Yes. This is Dan from your apartment building. There are 2 people in the lobby. They say they're your parents. My heart stopped. What? They've been here for about 15 minutes. Should I let them up or? No, I'm coming. I'll be there in 20 minutes. I hung up, stood frozen in the hallway. Why were they here? What did they want? I told my charge nurse I had a family emergency. She didn't ask questions. I drove home in a daze. Why are they here? What do they want? Are they angry? Are they coming to yell at me for embarrassing them? My 2009 Honda Civic. Hands shaking on the steering wheel. 23-minute drive from the hospital to my apartment. I ran every yellow light. I parked, walked into the building, and there they were, sitting on the lobby bench, my dad holding the wooden box, my mom holding my old ICU jacket, both of them looking like they'd aged 10 years overnight. I stopped in the doorway. They stood when they saw me. My mom moved first. She crossed the lobby and pulled me into a hug. I didn't hug her back, not at first. She was crying, shaking. Emma, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. My dad stood behind her. the wooden box in his hands. He looked at me. His eyes were red. We opened it. I didn't say anything. He held the box out to me. We know everything. My throat tightened, but I kept my voice steady. You drove 14 hours to tell me that? My mom pulled back, wiping her eyes. Dad, we don't deserve forgiveness, but we need you to know, we see you now. We see what you did. We see who you are. Mom, we believe the wrong daughter. The small apartment lobby. 3 people standing in the middle. My dad holding the wooden box. My mom holding my ICU jacket, the one I'd left behind 8 years ago. Both of them looking 10 years older after 14 hours of driving. I asked the question I'd been holding on to for 8 years. What about Tori? My dad's voice was firm. We told her to leave. She's not welcome in our home until she apologizes to you, if you'll even accept it. I didn't invite them in right away. I stood there, looking at them, trying to reconcile the parents I'd worked myself to exhaustion for with the parents who'd pushed my gift off the table 3 days ago. Finally, I spoke. Come upstairs. My apartment was exactly what it looked like. Small, a studio, 380 square feet, a bed in one corner, a desk in another, a kitchenette with a mini fridge. My mom looked around and I saw it hit her. This is where I'd been living for 8 years while sending them $2,100 a month. My dad sat on the only chair. My mom sat on the edge of my bed. I stood. I'll rebuild this relationship, but I need you to understand something. They both looked at me. I need you to stop letting anyone rewrite my story. I need my seat at the table. And I need you to ask me directly. Not through Tori, not through anyone. Just me. My mom nodded, tears streaming down her face. For 8 years you believed I abandoned you. I need to know. If I come back, will you believe me? Mom, we will. I promise. My studio apartment, 380 square feet, a bed, a desk, an IKEA table with 2 chairs, one broken, a mini fridge, a window overlooking the parking lot. My parents sitting in the space I'd sacrificed everything to afford while keeping them in their house. I looked at them for a long time, then I nodded. Okay, we'll try. My mom stood and hugged me. This time I hugged her back. After the party, the story spread. Charleston is a small community. People talk. Within a week, everyone knew. Tori, the devoted daughter, had lied for 8 years. She'd erased Emma from the family narrative. She'd taken credit for care she didn't provide, while Emma worked herself to exhaustion 3,000 miles away. My parents posted on Facebook. It was short, simple. We owe our daughter Emma an apology. We were wrong. We're sorry. The comments flooded in, hundreds of them. People who'd liked Tori's posts for years suddenly saw them differently. Tori's friends stopped calling. She was removed from the family group chat, not invited to Thanksgiving, not invited to Christmas. Aunt Carol called me in mid-October. Tori sent your parents a letter, asking to talk. They said no, not until you're ready. A photo of an unopened envelope. White, handwritten address. From Victoria Callahan. Caption, we won't open it without your permission. The envelope, still sealed, sitting on my parents' kitchen counter. They sent me a photo. I haven't told them to open it yet. I stared at that photo for a long time. Maybe someday I'd be ready to hear what she had to say. But not today. Christmas gift, my mom said. I stayed for Christmas gift, my mom said. I stayed for 4 days. It was the first time I'd slept in my parents' house since 2017. My mom had cleaned out the guest room, made it up with fresh sheets, put flowers on the nightstand. It's yours now, she said. Always. The first night, we sat in the living room. My dad pulled out an old photo album. Pictures of me as a kid, riding my bike, playing in the yard, sitting on the front porch with a book. He pointed to one photo, me at 8 years old, grinning, missing a front tooth. I forgot how much you loved this house. I'm sorry we almost made you lose it twice. The guest room in my parents' house. Fresh sheets, a vase of flowers on the nightstand. My old track and field trophy from high school still on the bookshelf. the window overlooking the backyard where I used to play. That night, I slept better than I had in years. Rebuilding trust takes time. My parents started small, video calls every Sunday, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. At first, the calls were awkward, stilted. "How was your week?" "Fine. Busy. You?" But slowly, they got easier. My mom started asking real questions about my shifts, about my coworkers, about Seattle. My dad asked if I was still considering grad school. I told them I was thinking about applying again. "We'll help," he said. "Not with money. We know you don't need that from us. But we'll be there. We'll show up." One day in November, my mom called me outside our regular schedule. I almost didn't answer. Anxiety spiked. But I did. "Hi, honey, I just wanted to hear your voice. Is that okay?" I smiled. Me. "Mom, I need you to stop asking Aunt Carol how I'm doing and just ask me." "Mom, you're right. I'm sorry. How are you, Emma? Really?" A recurring calendar event. Sunday call with mom and dad, every week. 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time / 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We haven't missed one since October. In late November, I got a text from an unexpected number. Jake, my ex-fiancé. "I heard what happened. I'm proud of you." I didn't respond, but I smiled. Was so normal. I sat down. My mom was at the stove. My dad was at the kitchen table reading the newspaper. It was so normal. I sat down. My mom brought over a plate. Pancakes, bacon, exactly how I liked it. We ate together. No tension, no performance, no scripts, just family. My dad asked me about the grad school application. I told him I was almost done with it, that I'd submitted in January. He nodded. "You'll get in, and when you do, we'll drive out for your graduation. We'll be there." My mom reached across the table and took my hand. "Dad, if you go back to school, we'll help. Not money. We know you don't need that from us, but we'll be there. We'll show up." Emma, eyes wet. That's all I ever wanted. The kitchen table. Old wood, scratched from years of use. Morning sunlight through the window. The smell of pancakes and coffee, my mom's hand warm in mine. Warm. My mom squeezed my hand. "We're sorry we didn't see you, but we see you now, and we're not letting go." Before I left for the airport, my mom handed me the wooden box. "We want you to take this back. It's yours." I shook my head. "Keep it. It's proof you saw me." My dad drove me to the airport. At the drop-off curb, he hugged me. Tight, long. Dad whispering, "You saved us twice. Once from losing the house, and once from losing you." Emma. "I didn't do it to be seen. I did it because I love you." Mom crying, "We know, and we love you too, the real you." Charleston Airport, Gate D12, boarding pass for Seattle. I turned back at security and waved. They stood there, waiting, until I disappeared through the checkpoint. I sat on the plane, looked out the window as Charleston got smaller and smaller below me. I opened my notes app, typed, 8 years of silence, 4 days of being heard. Maybe that's a start. 3 months later, in March 2026, a package arrived at my door. I opened it. Inside was a picture frame, wood. Simple. The photo was from that morning in the kitchen. December, the three of us. Smiling. Real smiles. My mom had written on the back in her handwriting, "The first of many. Love, Mom and Dad." I called them immediately. Video call. My mom answered smiling. "I got the photo." She laughed. "We're making new memories, the right ones this time." I set the frame on my desk in my studio apartment. Next to it, I placed one of the 96 receipts. September 2017. The first payment, a reminder, not of what I lost, but of what I chose and what we're rebuilding. Mom, on video call, "We're making new memories, the right ones this time." A wooden picture frame on my desk. A photo of the three of us from December 2025. Behind it, one folded receipt from September 2017, both sitting in the morning light from my studio window. I looked at the photo, at my parents' faces, at my own, and I smiled. It took 8 years, 3,000 miles, and a box wrapped in gold paper, but they finally see me. And maybe that's enough. If this story resonated with you, if you've ever felt invisible in your own family, or if you've ever been the one who stayed silent while someone else took credit, leave a comment. I'd love to hear your story. And if you want to hear what happened when I finally confronted Tori face to face 6 months later, that's a story for another time.